What if the most dangerous thing damaging your brain right now isn't sugar, isn't aging, and isn't stress? What if it's something millions of people proudly ignore every single night? Sleep. What if I told you that sleeping less than 6 hours a night could slowly shrink your brain, damage your memory, weaken your immune system, and increase your risk of dementia years before symptoms ever appear? And the frightening part is this: most people don't even realize it's happening. You may think you're doing fine on 5 hours of sleep. You wake up, drink coffee, go to work, answer emails, drive your car, and continue your routine. But inside your brain, something very different is happening. Your brain cells are struggling. Your memory centers are slowing down. And toxic waste is quietly building up in your nervous system night after night. Doctors are now discovering that chronic sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired. It changes the physical structure of the brain itself. In fact, researchers have compared the brain of a severely sleep-deprived person to someone who is aging much faster than normal. And if you're over 45, the danger becomes even greater. Because after middle age, the brain becomes far less forgiving. What you ignore today may become forgetfulness tomorrow, confusion later, and cognitive decline years down the line. But here's the good news. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happens to your brain when you sleep less than 6 hours, the hidden nighttime process most people are unknowingly interrupting, and the simple habits and nutrients that may help protect your memory, focus, and long-term brain health naturally. Stay with me, because one small change now could completely transform your brain for the next decade. As we age, sleep is no longer just about feeling rested. After 45, sleep becomes one of the most important biological repair systems in the human body. Your brain uses those nighttime hours to detoxify itself, repair damaged cells, balance hormones, and store memories properly. But many adults have normalized poor sleep. Some stay awake scrolling on their phones. Others work late, eat heavy meals at midnight, or wake up constantly throughout the night and assume it's just part of getting older. The truth is, your brain may be paying a much heavier price than you realize. Let me tell you about Richard, a 58-year-old accountant. For nearly 12 years, Richard slept about 5 hours a night. He believed sleep was overrated. He proudly told people, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." At first, nothing seemed wrong. But slowly, strange things started happening. He began forgetting small details, misplacing keys, missing appointments, walking into rooms and forgetting why he went there in the first place. Then came the mood changes. He became more irritable, more anxious, and mentally exhausted even on weekends. Richard thought stress was the problem. But it wasn't stress alone. It was chronic sleep deprivation. You see, every night your brain performs a deep cleaning process. Scientists call it the glymphatic system, a waste removal network that becomes highly active while you sleep. During deep sleep, your brain literally washes away toxic proteins and metabolic waste that build up during the day. But when sleep is cut short, that cleanup process gets interrupted, and those toxins begin accumulating over time. One of those toxic proteins is beta amyloid, which has been strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. Here's the myth most people still believe: I can catch up on sleep later. But the truth is far more serious. Research now shows that consistent sleep deprivation creates cumulative neurological stress. In simple terms, your brain doesn't fully recover the damage from repeated nights of short sleep. That means 5 hours tonight, 6 tomorrow, then 4 the next night. Slowly chips away at your mental sharpness. And after years, the effects can become visible. What's even more alarming is how sleep loss affects decision-making. Studies have shown that people sleeping under 6 hours often believe they are functioning normally, even when their cognitive performance is severely impaired. In other words, sleep deprivation damages the very part of the brain needed to recognize the damage. That's why so many adults dismiss the warning signs. They think the fatigue is normal aging. They think the forgetfulness is harmless. But their brain is quietly waving a red flag. Now here's the hidden truth most people never hear. The real danger of poor sleep isn't just tiredness. It's inflammation. When you consistently sleep less than 6 hours, your body begins producing higher levels of inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. These chemicals don't just affect your joints or muscles. They directly affect your brain tissue. Inflammation disrupts communication between brain cells, reduces concentration, weakens memory formation, and accelerates aging inside the nervous system. A major sleep study published by researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found that even mild sleep restriction for several days caused measurable declines in attention, memory, and reaction speed, and participants often underestimated how impaired they actually were. That means millions of people are walking around every day believing they're fine, while their brain function is silently declining. But there's another hidden issue: hormonal imbalance. When sleep decreases, cortisol, the body's stress hormone, rises dramatically. At the same time, melatonin production falls. This creates a dangerous cycle. High cortisol keeps the brain alert and anxious. Low melatonin makes it harder to fall into deep restorative sleep. And the longer this continues, the more exhausted the brain becomes. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 64-year-old retired teacher. Margaret started waking up every night around 2:30 a.m. She thought it was normal aging. Over time, she developed terrible brain fog. She struggled to focus during conversations and often forgot simple words. After improving her sleep habits and correcting key nutrient deficiencies, something incredible happened within weeks. Her concentration improved, her energy returned, and for the first time in years, she felt mentally clear again. Because the brain desperately wants to heal, if you finally give it the chance. And this is where most people make a huge mistake. They focus only on productivity during the day, but ignore the recovery process at night. Your brain is not a machine. It's a living organ that requires deep restoration every single night to survive long-term. And now, let's talk about how to protect it. The first thing that can dramatically improve sleep quality and brain repair is magnesium glycinate, Mg2+. Magnesium plays a critical role in calming the nervous system, relaxing muscles, and regulating neurotransmitters involved in sleep. But here's the problem. As people age, magnesium levels often decline due to stress, poor diet, medications, and chronic inflammation. Low magnesium can lead to nighttime anxiety, muscle tension, restless sleep, and frequent awakenings. The best time to take magnesium glycinate is about 1 hour before bed. And one major mistake people make is taking cheap magnesium oxide supplements, which are poorly absorbed and often cause digestive problems instead of relaxation. The second powerful brain protective habit is morning sunlight exposure. This sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. When natural sunlight hits your eyes early in the morning, it helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. This improves nighttime melatonin production naturally. Many adults spend all day indoors under artificial lighting, confusing the brain's sleep-wake system. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight can help reset your biological clock and improve deep sleep later that night. I remember a patient named Samuel, age 61, who struggled with insomnia for nearly 8 years. He tried sleeping pills repeatedly, but the real issue was that his body clock had become completely disrupted. Once he began daily morning walks outside and reduced screen exposure at night, his sleep gradually stabilized. Not because of a miracle drug, but because his brain finally received the signals it needed. The third important nutrient is omega-3 fatty acids, C22, H32, O2. Omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the brain and support communication between neurons. Research has linked healthy omega-3 levels with better memory, improved mood, and healthier cognitive aging. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are excellent sources. And if using supplements, consistency matters more than taking extremely high doses occasionally. One mistake many people make is taking omega-3 supplements with low-quality processed meals. Healthy fats work best when paired with an overall anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Now let's talk about one habit that may be sabotaging your brain every single night. Late-night screen exposure. Phones, tablets, and televisions emit blue light that suppresses melatonin production. Even if you feel sleepy, your brain may remain chemically alert. This delays deep sleep and reduces the restorative stages your brain desperately needs. Try this instead. For the final hour before bed, dim the lights, Avoid intense stimulation. And allow the brain to gradually slow down. This simple change alone can dramatically improve sleep quality within days. And finally, protect your sleep schedule fiercely. Going to bed at wildly different times every night confuses the brain's internal timing system. Your brain loves rhythm. Consistent sleep and wake times strengthen hormonal balance, improve sleep efficiency, and support long-term cognitive health. Think of sleep as medicine for the brain. Because biologically, that's exactly what it is. Now here's where most people go wrong. The first mistake is relying heavily on caffeine to push through exhaustion. Coffee may temporarily mask fatigue, but it does not repair the brain. And drinking caffeine too late in the day can remain in your system for hours, quietly destroying deep sleep later that night. The second mistake is eating large heavy meals right before bed. Late night eating forces the digestive system to remain highly active when the brain should be transitioning into repair mode. Many adults experience reflux, restless sleep, vivid dreams, and nighttime awakening simply because their body is still digesting food at midnight. The third dangerous habit is using alcohol as a sleep aid. Many people say, "Alcohol helps me fall asleep." Yes, it may sedate you initially, but alcohol fragments sleep architecture, reduces REM sleep, and increases nighttime awakenings later. In other words, you may lose consciousness, but your brain never gets proper restorative rest. And perhaps the biggest mistake of all is ignoring sleep problems for years. Snoring, waking up gasping, severe daytime fatigue, and chronic insomnia are not things you should simply live with. Your brain is too important to neglect. So let's recap. Sleeping less than 6 hours consistently can quietly damage memory, increase inflammation, disrupt hormones, and accelerate brain aging over time. But your brain also has an incredible ability to recover when given the right conditions. Prioritize deep, consistent sleep. Support your nervous system with magnesium-rich nutrition. Get morning sunlight. Reduce nighttime screen exposure. And stop treating sleep like wasted time. Because every single night, your brain is fighting to repair itself. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so you will not miss the next video.